What's going on, people? It is Irish Gunner HD here. You can call me Irish, and today you're going to be watching some Battlefield 3 TDM on Canals. Not the most entertaining thing, I know, but it's pretty decent gameplay. I literally fired up the game, played the first game using the AUG 3, and just played one game, then logged it off. I just wanted to get some footage for this commentary. So, as I said, not the best, but I think it's like 23 and 9 or something like that. But yeah, so you might notice it looks a bit different. What this video is my first one uploaded to YouTube in the glorious bathing sunlight of 60 frames per second. Yes, you are all now enlightened. Those of you who haven't seen the ways of 60 FPS before, be you console players or people with like less good PCs, this is 60 FPS basically. I think in game I'm getting like 130, something like that. On like all low settings, unfortunately, but yeah, so I'm getting out like it's unless it lags or whatever like that, it's always 60 FPS. But it was kind of interesting to look at then. So I seen all the videos. Royal X Factor and a couple of other people have put up a few videos in 60 FPS, and I was curious about how that would affect both me as a video maker and you as the people watching it. Because I've definitely noticed. Now it's obviously it's obviously very early. It's like the initial public release or whatever. So I'm assuming that it's not like the final build. Like I don't know if anybody remembers back in the older days of YouTube. No matter what your internet connection, videos would buffer for a long time. That was just the way it was, and like that was back in the days of like 240p or whatever like that. It's just the way the video and the video players just gotten better over the years. So I'm assuming that eventually there will be updates to the 60 FPS and 720, 1080p, 4K, whatever. Yeah, so what I have here is some render times, which I thought was interesting. Now keep in mind, I've got a stock Core i5 3570K, sorry. And yeah, like it's not anything amazing. It's not overclocked. I've got the stock cooler on it. But I just thought it was interesting. So 720p 30 FPS, 41 seconds for a 15-second clip. I just grabbed a 15-second clip from this gameplay, one of the shortest clips that I had. I set it as a region and rendered it out. And as I said, in 720p 30 FPS, 41 seconds. That's not bad at all. It is like 3 times the length of the actual footage, but that just tends to be the case when you haven't got like a crazy powerful CPU. 1080p, then 30 FPS is 1 minute and 15 seconds, so that's quite a bit more. It's like over over twice as much, I think. And then 1440p 30 FPS is 1.5 minutes, so there you go. You can see the kind of progressive, and this is all, by the way, this is all with like color correction, brightness and contrast correction, and sharpness. Like they take a fairly big toll on the render time as well, but they make the video obviously look like a lot better. Then the interesting thing, so 60 FPS was 720p 60 FPS was 1 minute 15. So it takes the same amount of time to render a 720p 60 FPS video as it does to make a 1080p 30 FPS video. Like exactly the same. I thought that was pretty interesting. Then 1080p 60 FPS is 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Now that's even like that's long. It's longer for a 1080p 60 FPS than it is for 30, obviously, but not by about twice as much, nearly. Or again, I'm not really doing the math really quickly in my head, so I'm probably way off. But yeah, so then finally 1440p 60 FPS, 2 minutes and 55 seconds. So 3 minutes to render a 15-second clip with all kind of color correction and stuff like that at 1440p, which is like 2K, I believe, and at 60 FPS. Now the file sizes, if I just go back to my desktop here, so the file sizes for 1440p 30 FPS, which is what I used to render at, would be 44.1 megabytes for 16 seconds. For 60 FPS, it's 68.7 gigs, so it's not, or 0.7 megs. So it's not crazy. It's not crazy difference. It's not too much more, but it's definitely adding on like to the file size, which equals just in and of itself, which equals longer upload times. But like for a 10-minute video, my upload, I've got 30 megabytes down and 3 upload. And for like a standard Battlefield 7, 8, 9, 10-minute video, it's roughly anywhere in the region of probably half an hour to an hour, depending on publishing and render times and stuff, or upload times and stuff like that. It could be a little less, it could be a little more. It all depends, of course. But yeah, so that's how it affects me. It doesn't really affect me. I don't think it might. It would be interesting to see like rendering this out now in 1440p 60 FPS. This could take a while. Like I don't have any idea. Again, this is all brand new. But yeah, it's just very interesting. Now, what it means for the viewer, and what it means for me and you as viewers, then is, as I said, buffering and like having the video play smoothly at even just 720p, like even on my phone. On my phone on a 3G connection, well, on Wi-Fi I can play it really smoothly. On 3G connection at 720p, I can get it relatively stutter free, buffering and stuff like that. But I definitely noticed in this early implementation of the player and the 60 FPS stuff, it's definitely stuttering more. But as I said, that could just be the fact that it's early. Another what I wanted to just mention as well, it's like I joked about it at the start, but you literally can now see the difference. It was available on Twitch, but like Twitch is like relatively, well, I would say relatively, it's a lot smaller than YouTube. Like Twitch, like the biggest audience on Twitch at one time are usually like 60,000, like compared to YouTube's millions and millions of views on a video. But like it has to put an end now. It simply has to put an end now to this whole idea of 30 FPS is acceptable, 30 FPS is fine. I've ridiculously seen some comments, some absolutely just awfully stupid comments of people saying, it looks weird, it makes me dizzy, it makes my head hurt. Sort of understand that it looks different. Of course it looks different, and it's a bit jarring to get used to when you've spent your whole life playing 30 FPS, like sub 30 FPS on consoles, and you've been watching 30 FPS YouTube videos. You probably wouldn't be used to the smoothness. It definitely looks different, but to say that it looks worse, or it makes you dizzy, or it makes your head hurt, is just beyond me. Yeah, I'm hoping now with this kind of advent, and as it comes into itself, as it comes into its own kind of thing, that the whole kind of console peasants idea of 30 FPS is better, or it's more cinematic, as Ubisoft keep liking to throw around lately. Gross misunderstanding of that word. Again, but yeah, like that's just something I look forward to. Eventually, hopefully, eventually 60 FPS will become the standard, and we will look back on the days when we thought 30 FPS was like acceptable and just laugh, just not understand why we were okay with that. But lastly, I want to say, just before the video's over, I got a job. Now it's a Christmas job, but hopefully, if all goes well, it will turn into a permanent job. But I got a job in the gaming section of a toy shop. Like, how awesome is that? So yeah, like things are looking up. Like I made that channel update talking about not having any money and like not being able to afford like systems and games and stuff like that. It was bumming me out. Now I'm hopefully gonna have a bit more loose change to spare and put towards some stuff towards the channel, like hard drive and whatever. But yeah, I think that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. If you did, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.